Welcome to SECschedule.com. We will be previewing the 2021 Florida Gators football schedule. Enigmatic head coach Dan Mullen enters his fourth season at Florida after a tumultuous COVID-interrupted season that saw Mullen and the Gators finally get past Kirby Smart's Georgia Bulldogs to win the SEC East and come within 6 points of beating the Crimson Tide in the SEC Championship game. The Gators must replace a ton of offensive production from QB Kyle Trask, tight end Kyle Pitts, and wide receiver Kadarius Toney. For more information on the SEC schedule, head on over to SECschedule.com. Please leave comments below, like, and subscribe. Gators kick off the season at home against Florida Atlantic on Saturday, September 4th at 7:30 p.m. on the SEC Network. The Owls finished 5-4 last year, their first since Lane Kiffin's departure to Mississippi. The Gators last played FAU in 2015, a 2014 nail-biter for the Gators. The following week, the Gators travel in-state to Tampa to take on the South Florida Bulls on Saturday, September 11th at 1 p.m. on ABC. The Gators last played the Bulls in 2010, a 38-14 Gators victory. New starting quarterback Emory Jones, who patiently waited his turn behind Kyle Trask, better be ready because defending national champion Alabama comes into Gainesville on Saturday, September 18th at 3:30 p.m. on CBS. The Crimson Tide are replacing a star quarterback of their own as Bryce Young takes over for Mac Jones. This game may come down to which quarterback develops more quickly, and both will have experienced and talented wide receivers to help them out. Jones will be able to rely on third-team preseason SEC wide receiver Jacob Copeland, and Young will be throwing the pigskin to preseason first-team SEC wide receiver John Mechie III. The game will be a rematch of the 2020 SEC Championship game, which saw the Tide barely beat the Gators 52-46, the toughest game of the year for the champions. Saturday, September 25th, the Gators host rival Tennessee and first-year head coach Josh Heupel, who arrives from Central Florida. The Gators have beaten Tennessee 15 of the past 16 seasons and have not lost to the Vols in the Swamp since 2014. In last year's contest, Florida beat Tennessee 31-19. Florida finally leaves the state on Saturday, October 2nd and travels to Lexington to take on Mark Stoops and the Kentucky Wildcats. A mostly lopsided series with the Gators winning 31 games in a row before Stoops finally led the Wildcats to victory in 2018. The Gators have won the last two matchups and look to do the same in 2021 with a strong defense that features a pair of preseason first-team SEC selections in cornerback Kyer Elam and defensive lineman Zachary Carter. Last year's matchup was a lopsided 34-10 Gators win. On Saturday, October 9th, the Gators host Vanderbilt and first-year head coach Clark Lee, who arrives in Nashville from Notre Dame. Another lopsided series, the Gators have beaten the Commodores 29 out of the last 30 years. Last year, Florida beat Vanderbilt 38-17. The Gators travel to Baton Rouge on Saturday, October 16th to take on Ed Orgeron and the LSU Tigers, who are 1 year removed from an undefeated national championship but are trying to rebound from an off-season. The Tigers will feature Max Johnson at QB, who seems to have won the starting job after an injury to Max Brennan. Last year, in Johnson's debut, the Tigers beat the Gators 37-14 after the now infamous Shoegate incident, which possibly cost the Gators a shot at the playoffs. After a bye week on October 23rd, it's time for the world's largest cocktail party in Jacksonville on Saturday, October 30th at 3:30 p.m. on CBS. Last year saw Mullen and the Gators finally break through and beat the Bulldogs en route to the SEC East title. The Gators will need to replace Kyle Trask's 474 yards and 4 touchdowns. JT Daniels will start his first cross-border battle in 2021. Georgia fans still wonder what would have happened last year if JT Daniels got the start over Stetson Bennett, a 44-28 Gators victory. After Jacksonville, the Gators will head north to Columbia on Saturday, November 6th to take on first-year head coach Sean Beamer, who takes over for former Gator head coach Will Muschamp. Beamer, who arrives from pass-happy Oklahoma, will need to turn around an offense and passing game that has been anemic the last few years. Florida beat the Gamecocks last year 38-24. Florida gets a bit of a breather the following week, Saturday, November 13th, with a home game against Samford, who play in the Florida Championship subdivision, before making the trip to Columbia for a matchup against the Missouri Tigers coached by Eli Drinkowitz. Last year's game, a resounding 41-17 victory for the Gators, is mostly remembered for an on-field brawl that involved Mullen. Finally, after skipping a year because of COVID, the storied Florida-Florida State rivalry is renewed as the Gators host the Florida State Seminoles in the Swamp on Thanksgiving weekend, Saturday, November 27th. Mike Norvell enters his second season with the Seminoles after going 3-6 last year. Gator and Seminole coaches are judged on how they perform in this series. We'll know more about Norvell's development after this game. The last time these two bitter rivals played was 2019, a one-sided 40-17 Gator victory. That's Florida's 2021 regular season schedule. If you have any questions, please leave them below. Will Emory Jones be able to run Mullen's offense? Will Mullen once again be tempted by the NFL after the year? If you like this video, please help us out by liking and subscribing to the channel. Also remember to visit www.secschedule.com for the complete 2021 SEC schedule. Thanks for watching.